I'm Brandon Radcliffe, and coming up, we finally have the name of the 23rd president in school history.
Your house may not be as safe as you think. I'm Beth Floger, and I'll tell you how to make sure your house doesn't end up like this one.
I'm Sarah Moore, and I'll tell you how $15 million could have you finally driving on this empty highway. WVU News starts now.
It's been more than 6 months since Mike Garrison stepped down as president of WVU. Now the state's flagship university is under new leadership. I'm Jeff Coyle.
And I'm Casey Hott, and you're watching WVU News, a newscast produced by journalism students at West Virginia University.
Dr. James Clemens from Towson University will take over for interim President Peter McGraw, and Clemens says he can't wait to call Morgantown home.
That's right, Jeff, but it was a long road to finding the next president, including a long public search with many qualified candidates. But in the end, it came down to 2 men. Brandon Radcliffe reports on the journey to be WVU's next leader.
So I'm here to learn as much about you as you are to learn about me.
I'm committed to education. It's part of who I am. It's the reason I've spent 35 years in higher education, because I see the value and I see the importance of it.
The next president of West Virginia University is finally here. The list was narrowed down to 2 names: the president of the City University of New York's Dr. Gregory Williams and the provost at Towson University, Dr. James Clemens. Both men spoke to the students in campus forums at the Alumni Center and wanted to make their mark at WVU.
We have 2 very good finalists here on campus who would both serve our university very well.
I think both candidates are highly qualified and would be excellent presidents at WVU.
In a competitive environment for leadership, the deadline to select the president was moved up. With both men here on campus, the students will finally get a chance to see who their next president will be. With issues like tuition increases, a tough economy, and university reputation, now is the right time for a new president.
We hit a bump in the road. Every university hits a bump in the road. We don't look back, we look forward.
Times are changing in Morgantown because for the first time since 1985, the president of West Virginia University is a native of the state of West Virginia. Brandon Radcliffe, WVU News, Morgantown.
Dr. James Clemens has been serving as provost of Towson University since 2007. President Clemens will receive an annual salary of $450,000 per year. The 44-year-old Virginia native will assume the office of president on June 30th.
The selection of the new West Virginia University president comes only days after a tragedy hit campus in which a WVU freshman died of what is suspected to be bacterial meningitis. Health officials say 19-year-old Chelsea Canadas was being treated for bacterial meningitis, but the official cause of death was not released. Meningitis is mainly spread through saliva. Symptoms include high fever, headache, stiff neck, joint pain, and vomiting. Anyone experiencing 2 or more of these symptoms should go to an emergency room immediately. Since 2006, all WVU freshmen are required to get the meningitis vaccine. The vaccination prevents about 75% of cases of bacterial meningitis. Each year, between 5 and 15 students die from the virus.
Millions of dollars of stimulus money is coming to the Mountain State to help people who may not be able to afford the rising cost of health care expenses, like a meningitis vaccine.
That's right, Casey. But West Virginia will also benefit from the economic recovery bill in many other areas, including road improvements. Sarah Moore joins us now with details on one stretch of highway that leads nowhere. Sarah?
Jeff and Casey, with the economy in a recession, funding for roads and highways has dried up. And for one major road construction project, officials had to put the brakes on its completion. But now more than $200 million is coming to the Mountain State for infrastructure, and residents hope the money is enough to complete one stretch of highway in Monongalia County.
Good guess. Good guess.
Mike Goff has lived with his family and pets on Route 857 for almost 25 years. During that time, he has seen his share of cars, trucks, and especially accidents. Living on the crest of a hill with low visibility has always put him on edge.
Every time I would watch my kids pull out, my heart was in my throat.
Goff says that the road directly links West Virginia to Pennsylvania, but it is now being used by trucks that are too large to safely make the trip. Pennsylvania has completed its part of a new toll road to connect the states, And when more money comes through, West Virginia will complete the link. Over $200 million of the stimulus package will come to West Virginia for roadways, $15 million of which will be used to complete the Mon-Fayette Expressway. So a little more of this. We'll have 857 seeing a lot less of this. Completion would let this road see fewer trucks, and officials say the connection to I-68 is greatly needed.
Well, that does, represent a big investment on the part of the state of Pennsylvania and state of West Virginia. I think it'll be an important addition to the regional transportation system and very much welcomed.
Residents say the money can't come soon enough.
We average 3 accidents a year out here. You grow accustomed to hearing them. Anytime you hear brakes, you expect to hear the fire whistle to go off and the lights to come up the road.
And Goff says that though he does not expect all truck traffic on the road to stop, he is confident that opening the toll road will definitely slow it down. Until that time, he will continue to look both ways, more than once, before crossing this street. An official report says construction on the Mon-Fayette Expressway should begin by this summer. Casey, back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. About 31% of auto-related deaths in the U.S. are caused by people driving under the influence of alcohol. But Morgantown is working hard to improve those statistics by offering a convenient alternative to driving after a night out on the town. A new taxi stand out front of the Lazy Lizard Bar in downtown Morgantown is bringing big city life to students. People who may have had a drink can hail a cab to any place in Morgantown for a flat fee of only $5. Some students say they've been stranded downtown because the bus was full and the phone for the cab companies was always busy. Officials say the goal of the taxi stand service is simple: to get everyone home safe and to keep people from drinking and driving.
The new taxi service is one way to make sure everyone gets home safe and sound. But just how safe are you once you get there? Beth Ploger shows us how a smoke detector could save your life.
Room's full of smoke.
Teddy Bloomquist and his friends put their cake in the oven and walked next door. They had no idea what would happen.
We had no idea that it was on fire until it was too late and we smelt the smoke, ran in, had to call 911.
Their oven was up in flames with everything around it beginning to melt. They didn't realize there was no smoke detector or alarm system installed in their apartment.
Luckily we smelt the smoke, but had we not, I can't imagine what else we would have lost.
5 houses in Morgantown have already ended up just like this one in 2009, but officials say that a simple smoke detector could help save all the lives of families in such homes. Morgantown Fire Chief David Fetty says smoke detectors are more important than people think.
When you're sleeping, that's the time where a lot of people think if I have a fire, I'll wake up. You absolutely won't wake up.
Having a smoke alarm isn't all families need to do. Fire Chief Fetty recommends each device be checked at least twice a year.
The good rule of thumb is when you change your clocks from daylight savings time and inversely, you check your smoke detector batteries and change them right then. Don't just check them, change them.
Bloomquist now has several detectors and sprinklers throughout his apartment. He says the fire in his oven showed him the importance of having them.
Oh, it makes me feel a lot safer to have them, and I never thought of that before this fire. I kind of took them for granted, but...
No one should take them for granted. By having a smoke detector installed, the chance of surviving increases by 82%. Beth Ploger, WVU News, Morgantown.